Man, it's going to be a hot day today. Let's get over here in the shade. So I think I'm going to find a job that's in the shade today instead of in the sun. So I'm not going to work in the garden today. I'm thinking I'm going to work out here on the wood pile today. Um, so the reason that is I'm trying to get electricity out to our barn back there. So there's no electricity on that barn. And so out here we've got 2 electric meters. We've got one over by our house, and then we have a separate electric meter for here on the farm side. So our electric meter is right there. So we're going to be running electric right down the side of this driveway. It's going to run right down this driveway back to the barn. So the problem is, before I can run electricity, I need to get all this wood split up and out of the way. I also have a part of a log back there that I need to cut up and split as well. So this was a really big tree that I had split up at my aunt's house. You can see there's more of it over here. The rounds that were so big that we couldn't, lift and put in a truck and haul here, we had to split up, and we split them just in chunks big enough to get in the trailer and take here. So a lot of these pieces still need split either 2 or 3 more times, just to get them in the right size of logs. So we're going to split all this wood today. That should go fairly easy, hopefully. And then I've got that tree down there, that log down there. I need to cut that up and split it. And then hopefully I'll have an open path. Hopefully all this will be clear all the way back to the barn. So then here, maybe in a few weeks, we can run electricity back to the barn back there. So this is my log splitter. It is a 25-ton black diamond log splitter. And so far, this log splitter has split everything I've given it. It has done good for me so far. So I'm going to try to get these logs split into smaller pieces and get them stacked over here along the back side. I'm going to try to stack this freestanding. I've never done a freestanding stack before. I always try to lean it against something. So you can see back here I've got big rounds of wood. I've got some concrete blocks, and I try to just kind of lean them against something. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to build up like a column of wood on the end. I've kind of played around right here. So you kind of stack it in a square and you stack it up, and that will be kind of a freestanding stack, and that'll help hold in the rest of the stack. So you put this at both ends. So I've never done that before, so this will be my first probably attempt at a full-size freestanding stack of wood. So I'm going to go ahead and get split, and we'll see how it works out. that took me about 2 hours to get all that wood split up. So I've got wood piled back here behind the log splitter, all the way around the log splitter, all the way over here to that wood pile, and is overflowing actually back to where I want to pile it. So it may be a little difficult to pile, but you can see where the old wood pile was. It's completely gone now. I've got a clear path going that way toward the electric box. I still have this maple log back here. I'll have to get a chainsaw out. I'll have to cut that one up and then split it. But before I get to that one, I want to go ahead and start trying to stack all this wood and stack it freestanding. Well, there it is. This is my first stack of freestanding stack of firewood. So I think that turned out pretty good. It's a pretty good size stack. So this is about 5 foot tall, and from what I can tell, from this end to that end, it's probably about 12 feet long. So these here, when I cut these pieces of firewood, I was trying to cut all about 20 inches long. So these are about 18 to 20 inch long pieces of firewood. And then when I got to these really big rounds of wood, I realized that that was way too big to handle when you get like up to a 32-inch piece of wood. So then I started cutting some of the bigger rounds of wood into 16-inch pieces. So then down here, I've got some that are closer to this 14 to 16 inches long down there. I'll just have to stack those in a different stack. So this is my first year that I'll actually be burning firewood split from a log splitter. So last year I hand split all my firewood, and what I found was that I had, I think probably by doing it by hand, I would get it split up and I'd say, okay, this is good enough. Well, I ended up with way more just big pieces of wood, and I didn't have really a lot of sizes. I didn't have a lot of small pieces of wood or medium-sized pieces of wood. So what I've done, and I've tried to make an effort that as I do this, I'll make some small pieces of wood and some medium pieces of wood, all kind of mixed in. Actually, if anything, I'm probably going to lack in having like the really big pieces of wood, to burn all night long. And that's what I mostly had last year. Is I mostly had some pretty good chunks of wood. I find that I hand split them. I just didn't want to keep splitting them. It was such a pain in the butt, so you end up, just as soon as you kind of split it up, you're like, that's good enough, and you end up with all these big pieces. So definitely made an effort to try to mix in different pieces, the sizes of wood this year. So last year was a mild winter time, so we just let the fire go out every day and then restart it every night. And so you needed those smaller pieces there every time you'd restart the fireplace. So I think it just kind of depends on how this winter goes. If it's a really cold winter and we're burning wood all the time, I'll probably wish I had more bigger pieces, but I'm trying to have a good mixture of different sizes of wood throughout the stack, so as I pick from it, I'll have a mixture of everything. So now the next thing I need to do is I need to go out here, and it is sunny out here. You can tell that it's getting to be the afternoon. The sun has now creeped into underneath the lean-to here, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to see if I can get this maple tree all cut up and see if we can get it out of the road, you know, out of the where we're going to be putting our electric into the barn, and try to make a clear path here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the chainsaw out and start cutting. Well, the saw seems to be sharp, but it's cutting, it seems to be cutting crooked. So I need to sharpen it up. So I got one side sharper than the other. So the more I use this sharpener, the more I like it. It's just really awkward on holding it one-handed. But after sharpening that thing is cutting really good. It's cutting straight too. Drive me nuts. So let me show you the problem I'm having with my chainsaw. So this is your clutch assembly here. This little C-shaped piece of metal in there, that is the clutch spring. There's supposed to be one on this side, and here it is. You can see it's just broken in half and bent up. So I've broken the clutch spring on this side. So that's why this clutch is constantly grabbing the chain. The chain won't stop spinning, and that's why it kept on killing the engine as well. We're gonna go ahead and just put this back together. It's kind of dangerous running it this way. I just need to get this cut up and out of the way. So I'm just gonna try to be as careful as possible. Well, I am worn out. I could feel my heart beating as I was trying to roll those rounds. I mean, that was killing me, man. I was already hot by that time. And you know, I could have probably probably could have rolled the log splitter over there, and I could have put it in vertical, and I probably could have split those up into smaller pieces. But I'll be honest with you, I was just ready for this to be over with. I've been out here working on this for like 5 hours now, and this whole afternoon there has not been any shade. I've been in the sun the entire time. So I was just ready for this to be over with. So the chainsaw was giving me a lot of fits. The clutch was broke on it, so it won't start up with the brake on. It'll kill it if you hit the brake. If it gets into anything where it bogs down, it'll kill the saw. And the chain will not stop spinning as long as it's running. So it's a real kind of a dangerous situation. So I was trying to be as careful as I could. So I'm gonna have to get a clutch spring before I continue on with the saw. So that's the second clutch spring I've had break in the last year. So that's obviously something that I need to keep extra of and on hand. Yeah, I don't plan on using that saw anymore until I get a clutch spring. I just wanted to get that out of the way so I could get a route for my electricity. So I am happy that I did get that done. So I rolled the logs out of the way. I have a clear path now out to the barn so that I can trench in the electric out to that old barn back there. And so that's a big accomplishment. At least I can maybe work toward that here in a couple weeks. And pretty happy with the firewood. So we got a lot accomplished really in 5 hours though. So I got my firewood split up. I got it stacked. I think the stack actually looks fairly good. I mean, this isn't like this isn't the Outdoors with the Morgans perfect stack of firewood, you know, but it's my stack of firewood, my first freestanding one. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna get this firewood over here. I'll probably restack that here in front of that one. And then I've got probably at least a couple more cords, at least over here, that I need to split up and stack in front of this as well. So this is probably, this is what my goal is, to have this whole bay on this lean-to filled full of firewood before wintertime. So hopefully we'll be able to get that done. I think we're well on our way. We've got definitely enough firewood probably here for the winter. I just need to get it split up and stacked. So. Well, I think I need to get inside. I need to cool down. I need to rehydrate. So I think that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.